Hey, that's not too bad for Rorgar.
There we go. Advantage.
I love Virion with the 1+4.
Good start to the new year.
Virion, I think with your sword too, I think it's once a long rest, you can give yourself advantage on initiative. Not saying that you have to do that now, but you can.
I might take that, I think. That's a little better.
That's a big difference. So we'll get started, Virion. From your location at the back of the camp, because you're very far out here with Suzanne, you see this thing emerge from the pile of bodies. And whatever it is appearing to shamble towards Guardian.
Okay, actually, I probably don't have a good line of sight on it just because that tent that's there, so I'm going to take some movement to about there and fire my bow at this monstrosity.
A 10, unfortunately, will not hit.
Perfect. That is also a natural 1, so I will take my second shot at this monstrosity.
A 17 will hit.
Perfect. For 11 piercing, and my good old buddies, the penguin swarm, will jump out and start attacking the kneecaps of this. Or I guess they're not kneecaps, some sort of spider legs.
They start biting at it, pieces of it. You can't really tell. Normally they'd go for the joints or something, but here they're just biting off pieces of flesh.
All right. I assume they enjoy it very much so.
So what happens? The penguins.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's my turn there.
The penguins appear on this thing with a bit of a purplish glow, which is different than you've ever seen before, Virion. You've been summoning penguins for a very long time, and you feel something to your left. And as you look, there's like a shimmering portal of like a purplish color that is almost the same hue as the last penguin that you summoned. And you feel almost a gentle, warm breeze coming out of this portal. But it's about 2.5 meters tall, and it's just twisting and shimmering.
All right, Virion's probably going to get very distracted by that and just stare at that a little bit.
Which takes us to Guardian.
Well, first gonna enter a rage. Pull out the maul and rush towards this creature.
Okay.
And I'm going to whack it once. Your rage is enabled. I'll do it recklessly because why not? 25.
Yeah, that'll hit.
10 damage.
That'll work.
And did it look like it resisted anything or it didn't really do damage?
It did damage. Now, how this is going to play out to the health of the larger creature, you can't really say, because as you strike it, there's like all sorts of pops and bubbling noises. But yeah, normally with a creature, as you're hurting it, you could maybe discern how injured it is. With this thing, you can't really tell because you can't even really see a head on it. You see several mouths, but no discernible head.
Oh, well, I'm gonna go whack it again. Maybe want to cross one of those heads.
Okay.
Recklessly, of course. A 20.
A 20 will hit.
Another 10.
Is that all you have for this guy?
That was both my actions, yes.
Why'd you have to say it like that?
Unless I get another 2 turns. You want me to have another 2 turns? I'll take 2 turns.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Elijah, could you give me a medicine check, please?
Sure, let's see how this goes.
27. Very good. So
I'm thoughtful.
you've seen a number of undead before, especially since your time in Icewind Dale. You've seen lots of different undead that are kind of unique to this area. You've never seen anything like this before, and you've actually never even heard of it before. This seems to be some sort of dark magic that somehow brought not just different creatures together, but parts of different creatures to make this thing, this amalgam of craziness that you see before you. You've never even heard stories about it before.
Okay, Rorgar's right next to me. So I'm gonna say, I think if you use some of your, like, holy attacks, that might help against this thing. It seems undead.
I will certainly try.
I'll give you a thumbs up.
So, Guardian, as parts of it seem to get attention and turn towards you, you notice there's even more popping and rattling and bubbling noises, and actually a bit of a fluid ejects from a part of it as some sort of pustule pops as it moves towards you. And let's see. It first reaches down to take a bite out of you. I believe it does have advantage. How's a 21? I believe a 21 hits, right? So with that,
I was muted. Yes, it hits.
so that is 20 piercing as some sort of jaws, maybe like jaws in the end of some kind of tentacle, reach out and take a bite out of you.
Rage.
And then some claws on another arm, which came out of nowhere, swipe down to get you. 29. That is 19 slashing. And then out of somewhere, it looks like a tiger's tail comes out of the back of this creature as it spins around. How's a 15?
15. Opened up the sheet. That just meets.
Okay. That does 14 bludgeoning. And if you can give me a strength check, please.
I have advantage of those because I'm raging. Strength check, set, blah.
Yeah, a strength
save.
check, please.
Alright.
Yeah, it's a check.
17.
You managed to keep your feet. You could tell that this thing, it's a tail of, looks like some kind of cat creature, but you take a step back and regain your footing. And then finally, one arm seems to come back from the back of the creature, or at least what was the back, which you can no longer tell if that's now the front, and it appears to be like part of a chest, and there's a hand on the chest, and the hand is holding a club, and the club swings down at you. 27. That is also 16 bludgeoning. But that is the final attack of this nightmare creature, which takes us to you, Rorgar.
That would have killed anyone else here.
Yep. Well, Rorgar will charge in. Moving to here. With Rogar's bonus action, he will grip his holy symbol tight and take a vow of enmity against this creature. So Rorgar gets advantage on all attacks against this creature for the next 10 rounds.
Okay.
And then he will proceed to make 2 attacks with his battle axe.
A 16, or no, you don't have advantage. You do have advantage. That's right. From your enmity, you have a 16 will hit. Yes.
And on this first attack, Rogar will use a 2nd level Divine Smite. So 15 points of normal damage. Plus 3d8 radiant.
Wow, 28 total?
Yeah, that's it.
It's a considerable attack, Rogar, as you hit it. Again, there's more popping and slurping sounds, and where your battle axe strikes this thing, like some yellow fluid comes off of it and lands in the snow.
And then Rogar will take another swing, this time trying to cleave what he perceives as an arm from this thing.
A 24 will hit.
And we will do the exact same. Oh,
19.
Can I use inspiration to reroll my Divine Smite?
Sure, I'll let you do that.
Hell yeah.
A creative use of inspiration, I'll give you that.
That's way better.
That's way better. 32?
32 total, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, you lob off what looked like an arm, and it falls to the ground. You see the arm actually has no fingers, no hand. It could have been a foot of some kind of creature, but it's hard to tell because it's this like purplish, pinkish, fleshy color with no other discerning features.
Return to whatever layer of hell you came from, evil monster.
Takes us to Laja.
So, as we may expect, I'm going to move up for 5. Great, I have just enough room. And then I'm going to tap Guardian lightly, and I'm going to cast Cure Wounds. And you know what? Let's give him a bunch of... oh, come on. That one... okay, 14 healing for a 4th level spell slot. Great, thanks.
Whoa!
How did it only give 14 healing? That's so rude.
Oh,
It happens like that. You get some healing.
thank you, thank you.
You probably would have gotten more if I had just used Aura of Vitality over time, but you know what? We're living with this. And that's as much as I can move. I don't have any good bonus actions right now, so that's the end of my turn.
Okay. Which moves us to Virion.
Virion's very torn by trying to take down this ghoul or check out this spinning light. I think Virion is going to walk over to the light and I guess just try and get a sense of what's happening with it, if he can understand why it's showed up and what's going on with it.
As you're closer, you feel warm air coming from it. In fact, the snow underneath the portal has started to melt. It's not like burning to the touch, it's just a lot warmer. You can kind of see through it, so it's black in the center and it's swirling purple on the outsides. It looks like there's a floor, so like you feel like you could very easily step through this. Now where it's going to take you don't know.
Okay. There's a lot of open-ended things there. I guess Virion is going to snap out of it for a second, realize that his friends are being attacked, and take another shot at this big bad boy over here.
Are you going to move to give yourself clear line of sight, or are you going to shoot from there?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I'm gonna move back to where I was.
25 will hit.
All right. And did you want to count that as an action when I went over to kind of investigate the?
No, you don't.
The
You don't need to do
Okay.
that. No.
I'll take my second shot
24 also hits.
for 12, and the penguins will come out and try and bite some wrists somewhere if possible.
The penguins again seem to have a purplish glow around them as they appear, and they're tearing at bits of flesh. One of them pulls out something, and you see there's like a tooth that it pulled out that's on its beak. You have no idea where the tooth came from, and then they vanish to wherever the penguins go.
And nothing. Does anything happen with the first portal or anything like that?
No, it just holds its place.
Okay.
So, I think we were gonna do Suzanne.
Oh, I forgot Suzanne after Elijah. Yep, let's go ahead and do Suzanne.
My idea was Suzanne, and anyone can tell me if they think we should do otherwise, was just to move to here and hold her action to attack, if just in case something came out of that portal that seemed dangerous.
That makes sense.
I think that sounds reasonable.
I don't like the portal. It seems strange.
Yeah.
Stranger than undead zombie dude.
Stranger than the amalgam of horrors. Sure.
Yeah, we faced tons of amalgams of horrors, but a portal?
I never.
So, Elijah, you have your attention, I guess, focused on Guardian, who you were healing, and you hear something like a squelch and a growl beside you, and you turn, and you see one of the corpses that was on the ground rises to its feet and starts to charge at you. However, two things. It's moving way faster than any undead that you've ever seen. It's actually racing at you to the point where you can hardly even see the features of it. But as it gets closer, its mouth opens and keeps opening into this huge maw of teeth. And it
That's
runs.
terrifying.
It looks like a humanoid. However, its mouth has reached. It's basically like its jaw has disconnected, and you just see like rows and rows of really, really sharp teeth coming right at you.
It looks like a leech.
And it runs at you and first tries to take a bite at you. How's a 10?
Would that trigger
Nope.
Sentinel?
Yes, I was just waiting until Josh was done.
Sentinel just stops it from moving out of your
No,
reach.
if you attack an ally of mine that I'm also within 5 feet of, I can use my reaction to attack that enemy.
Oh, perfect.
So
Does have
that's-
another attack, which I think also missed, a 12.
Yeah, that misses.
So do your thing, Rogar.
I finally get to use Sentinel.
Little do you know, this was a setup.
Yeah, to burn my reaction.
A 23 hits.
And with that attack, again, a gold light will beam off the blade of Rogar's battle axe, and a level 1 divine smite will be used against this creature. So that's 11 radiant and 8 slashing damage total for 19.
Let's see. So a few things happen. As you slice at the creature, it kind of pulls back a little bit, and then as you swing again, you strike it in the arm, and you actually take off one of its arms entirely, and it doesn't seem to be perturbed at all that it just lost an arm, and in fact, it seems to grow even more furious.
Huzzah!
Believe we have Guardian on the list next.
Well, one attack against the thing that just attacked Elijah. Recklessly.
Okay.
Please don't forget the big boy.
Oh no, I got 2 attacks. I am going to switch to the chain, though.
Okay.
D6.
26 will hit. C12.
Mm-hmm. And as I crack that chain over him, I'm gonna drag it along the ground and then up towards the big boy. Ooh, a 15.
A 15 will hit.
Oof,
For 10.
10.
The nightmarish creature with a large mouth is next to Laja that Rogar has taken its arm off. You swing your chain around, like pop it against the side of the face. Some teeth fly out of its mouth, and you see immediately as it happens, the teeth regrow back inside. So it's like 3 or 4 layers of teeth now into this thing.
Ooh. That's my turn.
All right, so this creature, the big one, you hear more popping and squelching sounds as some of the wounds that the penguins made close up and heal over. And in fact, as that happens, an eye pops out of one of the wounds and another one of the wounds, like parts of a finger emerge. And from somewhere, perhaps near its chest, or what would you consider its chest, it turns and a hoof, like perhaps from a horse, comes down at you, Rogar. How's a 28?
Yes.
You know what's really funny? Oh, here it is. I actually did not put the damage into a line that I could read. This is, hang on, let me roll for it. It is 12 bludgeoning damage. And if you can give me a strength save, please.
All right. I do get an extra bonus +3 to my saves, along with everyone within 10 feet of me. Oh, so that's a 13.
A 10 is not enough as it hits you with its hoof.
It's a 13.
Oh, a 13 is still not enough.
Yeah,
With the hoof that it hits you out of its chest, it pushes you back to here.
Well, that's like not so bad, I guess.
But let's see, its next attack. An arm reaches down to the ground and picks up a rock that was off near the pile of bodies and throws it at you, Laja. How's a 25?
Yeah, maybe that will hit.
That is 17 bludgeoning damage as the rock hits you. Again, another hoof. It takes another hoof attack at you, Guardian. Let's see, I think with advantage, it got a 36.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So that is 12 bludgeoning damage, please. And then also I need a strength save from you.
You're still within 10 feet of me, so you get a +3.
That's a good advantage. So 15.
It knocks you back 10 feet as well, so it pushes you past Laja. Right there.
I'm a big boy. Does Lodge just come with me?
Laja just got hit with a rock, and I imagine Laja, as you're recovering from that, you're seeing like flying past you as Guardian.
I think you like stumble over me.
Well, I was hoping like to push Lodger back with me. You know, big man.
If you did that, I would be in a tent.
Yes, but you
Who
would be
knows
away
if
from
it's
that.
open? It's okay, I don't mind.
And then I think that's what it's going to do for this round. Takes us to you, Orgar.
Okay. Am I prone or am I still standing?
Oh, you're standing. You're just knocked back. How that works, I don't know, but that's what mechanically happened.
Did anyone see a horse? Rogar will take a step here and take an attack against this creature with advantage, hopefully from flanking.
A 25 will hit.
No extra damage on this one, just the normal.
When you strike it, it loses one of its legs. It does not seem to deter it at all.
Does that mean it's now prone?
It's not prone, it's doing like the Black Knight hopping on 1 foot thing, and it's still trying to go at Laja.
What is the plan here, friends? What are we doing? And Rorgar will make a further attack against this creature, just hoping to get rid of it.
A 19 will hit. So with your final strike on the thing, what you manage to do is slice it across the throat. Its head falls off to the side. However, as the body collapses, the head rolls around in the snow, still trying to bite at Laja.
And then I think Rorgar will take a few steps back. To about there, if that's allowed.
Sure. I think it leaves us with Laja.
So let's see what I am going to do. I think we're not doing very well. Yeah, I will cast Aura of Vitality just to make sure that we are able to stay up, at least. So that action is casting it once, and let's see who is doing the worst. Is me. So I will give myself 2d6. So then I get 10 healing. And since I have the opportunity, I'm moving away.
You should know that you're within 10 feet and it's going to attack you.
Oh,
with an
I
attack
am
of
within 10
opportunity. You are. It can reach you.
Well then,
Yeah, it will attack you if you move.
that's fine. Let's do it. Go. Attack me.
It also another arm, perhaps the one that struck Guardian before, comes at you with a club, Laja. How's a 26?
Great, I'm gonna use Warding Flare. Let's do one more, see how that works. See if I get away.
18.
Yeah, that just hits.
Sorry, that's
Ooh.
16 bludgeoning.
You know what? At least I'm away.
But
I
takes us
have
to
less health, but you know what? I'm up.
Severian, you notice your party is being knocked away from this thing, and in Laja and Rorgar's case, they're almost retreating from it.
As Laja and Rorgar are like moving back further towards me, I'm just gonna shout at them as like, "There's a portal that's appeared. I don't know if it's a way out of here or anything like that, but it might be an option to get away from this thing." And I'm going to take another shot as I'm shouting this at my colleagues here.
An 11 will not hit,
Shoot again.
but a 27 will.
All right, we'll do that, and some more penguin attacks. And after I take that second shot, I am gonna kind of move back towards the colorful swirl here, just so everyone can see what I'm talking about.
I think you could all make the connection now. You see the portal that Virion was moving towards, because Laja and Rorgar, you're kind of moving in that direction. and you notice that his penguins, as they appear and they're biting at this thing, they have the same purplish glow that matches the portal that Varian is now standing beside.
Varian, do you have portal-making powers now?
Not that I know of, but my penguins might. They may have, how you say, leveled up in the wherever they go when they're not here.
Level up? That sounds very strange.
I know. Couldn't think of a better way to phrase it, really.
They don't look any bigger to me. They're not like on a higher level. I don't know what you're talking about.
They're just purplier. I don't know if that means anything, but there's some kind of connection there.
That seems better than this.
Can I use Suzanne?
Yes, certainly.
Suzanne will fly and stay in the air this whole turn. Moving to... I'm trying to just count the hexes to here. And as she flies past this creature, is going to breathe a cold breath on it. So it has to make a DC 12 Constitution saving throw.
Which it did.
So it takes half damage, so it takes 11 cold damage. And then Suzanne will just fly back behind us.
Okay. I believe are you done, Varian? Was there anything else you wanted?
Yeah. Can I just take my Moonblade and kind of like hold it up to whatever this is, just to see if it kind of makes a noise, or if I can get a better sense of if this is evil or good, or what the deal is with it?
As you pass your moonblade through it, I imagine you're doing the thing where you're just like testing the end of the blade and then bringing it back out of the
dipping
portal.
the toes in the water sort of thing.
Yeah, the blade seems fine. The portal is unaffected.
I'm gonna make Virian take the Nestea plunge into it.
Okay. So you're just going to go full on, just jump in the portal?
I think so.
And everyone, Varian steps in the portal and vanishes. I think that takes us to Guardian.
Oh, man. Well, no one's told Guardian about this portal, right?
Oh, you heard what Varian was saying.
But we're not going through it yet. Like, no one said, like, hey, we're going through.
You probably wouldn't have seen Varian from this point where you are. There's a tent between you and Varian.
Did him going through the portal make some sort of sound like a pop or a zing?
The Minecraft portal sound.
We'll go with the Minecraft portal sound, sure. The world did not end. Nothing visibly destructive happened, though. He just disappeared as he walked through it.
Guardian's just gonna look to Virgo like, what are we doing?
I believe we are retreating to this
Fine.
portal.
Go, I'll keep this thing busy till you're all gone. What about Suzanne?
Suzanne can go through the portal, I hope. If not, I can find Suzanne again.
It's a little too small for Suzanne. She's a big girl now.
Do not worry about Suzanne. I can find her again.
Give her a direction to go, then. I'm not leaving till everyone's gone. And I am just going to defend. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I have range. I have range with that chain?
I believe it's 10 feet, or that might just be the range where it can't walk away if it's grappled.
So we'll just check that here. Sorry. Yeah, it's 10 feet. Okay, so I'm just gonna move up one, and I'm gonna whack him a couple of times.
Are you hitting him to do damage, or are you going to try to grapple him?
Um,
Oh shoot, it's huge. I don't think he can.
yeah. So just damage. Not reckless.
It's a smart move. But unfortunately, a 9 is a miss.
And here's a second attack. Oof.
And a 12 is also a miss.
Alright, well. That's my turn done.
You do have inspiration.
I'd rather save that to try and get away.
Okay. So the creature doesn't even make a motion to move closer to you, Guardian, and attacks you from where it is. Does so. Another tail comes off of like a shoulder, what looked like a shoulder near the top of the creature. How's a 21?
Oh yeah, that'll hit. It has to beat a 15.
It's 26 bludgeoning, and I need you to make a strength check for me, please.
Strength check advantage. Oof.
That is not good enough. It knocks you
Rogar, do I
prone.
still have your... I'm prone,
You're
okay.
just out of range.
Alright,
It's
cool.
a check too, not a save.
Hmm.
But unless you wanted to use inspiration to roll again, you are knocked prone.
Well, prone's only half my move, right?
Yeah, to stand up.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
I believe it gets advantage if it attacks you while you're prone, though.
Only if it's next to you. If it's at range, it's disadvantage.
Yeah, it has to be within 5 feet. Cool. What?
I am prone.
You're prone? What it does next is it moves forward. Believe it's within 10 feet of Rogar, so it's going to attack.
I like how the symbol for prone is just back pain.
And again, a hoof comes out of nowhere from the side. How is 33?
I think it's a good number.
That's 12 bludgeoning, please, and I need also a strength save from you.
So that's a 16 total.
It pushes you back 10 feet. So you're probably here.
I had a whole plan for my turn, and it's not looking good.
And then it takes a bite down at you, Guardian, with advantage because it's within 5 feet.
Yep.
20.
Damage?
That is 20 piercing damage as teeth on the end of an arm like reach over and bite down on you.
Alright.
And that's its turn. As we head to Rogar.
We can't move through the tent spaces, right?
I'll
That
call
would be
it
silly.
I'll call it difficult terrain, so you would it'd take you twice your move to get through it. That's probably like you blowing through the tent. It's not a permanent structure, so if you really wanted to get through it, you could.
You gotta like duck under the side.
Okay. Going the circuitous route. Here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 going around the tent. Rogar goes to there. He'll put a hand on Guardian's back and give him 7 points of lay on hands healing. And he says, good luck, my friend. And then blinks out of existence and appears next to the portal here using a bonus action Misty Step. And then with his last 5 feet of movement, he looks to Laja and says, I hope this is not us stepping into oblivion. And he also takes the Nestea plunge.
With the Minecraft sound, there goes Rogar.
Oh, and he tells Suzanne to fly away.
Okay.
Fly towards Goodmead.
Well, first thing that I will do is Guardian gets 2d6 of healing.
Ooh.
And just like the others did, gonna leave. Guardian, please follow. Jump into the portal.
I
And
just
now
hope
the
we
rest
gave
of
him
the-
enough healing.
And now the rest of the session is chip damage on this thing versus me.
You already tried to stay behind once before. Don't make that mistake twice.
It
It
feels
wasn't
like
a mistake. I put
you're
him in
always
the
getting into
burlap
this
sack.
situation.
It's like I'm the defender who has to make sure he's protecting everyone, even if it costs him his life.
Well, Guardian, it's your turn. You are prone.
Oh, half my move to stand up.
Okay.
1 action to disengage. That's 5 feet. Right?
I'm
No,
check-
disengage just lets you move without getting the attack. You don't get a 5-foot
Okay.
step.
How did I go right there? Yeah. That's my turn then.
Okay.
He's just holding his back. He's like, kink in the armor.
And the creature moves. As it moves, it crosses into one of the tents and just tears it from the ground. There's tent covering the front of this thing as it just blows through the tent. And it's heading straight for your Guardian. And, yeah, it's going to take a swipe at you. So another claw. However, this time it kicks at you with one of its, like, spider feet. But the spider feet have claws on the end.
It's a hook claw spider feet.
How's
Like a little tarantula.
17?
Yeah, that'll hit.
That is 19 damage.
That tickled. That hurt. I shouldn't taunt the GM with a multi-attackable creature. Yeah, I'm just waiting for its other attacks now.
And that's it.
Okay.
These dice rolls that I'm making are determining what it's doing.
I just look at the creature.
There's
It's
a
like,
recipe for what I'm doing here.
guy just looks at the creature like, you really suck. Next time, Greg, you'll just walk into the portal.
So you moving, are you going to disengage or are you going to risk the attack of opportunity?
He was in the tent. I was over here. What's his range?
10 feet.
Oh yeah, then yeah, I'll disengage.
Okay.
I have 40 movement.
So that is where we end this encounter. This might take a minute to load.
Oh great, hell.
We really did go to the nether.
God damn it, Varian.
So as you all step to the portal, Virion, you see all this first, and the rest of you, in short order, come behind Virion. You appear through the portal, and you don't see the portal as you've stepped through. Like it seems to be one side only, but you step onto what appears to be a rock in a sea of lava. And it's very warm here, in fact. You all have been wearing furs and, miscellaneous winter gear the whole time you've been in Icewind Dale, but immediately here in this area, you really don't need that. And it's not extraordinarily hot, but you feel like these winter clothes you've been wearing forever now and are probably very musky and smelly, you don't really need them anymore. It's actually kind of pleasant. But yeah, around you, you see several platforms. Two on either side of the center rock that you're in are suspended in air. It looks like there's some kind of green orb being held by a golden pedestal in each of these two floating pillars or pedestals of rock. And yeah, that's about all you can see. In the lava that's surrounding you, it looks like there's several forms, perhaps hundreds of little things you can't really tell that are swimming in the lava.
As Guardian steps through the portal, he's just going to clutch his chest, drop down to his knees, reaching out towards Rogers and collapse.
Oh no, it appears our friend has died in the struggle. Unfortunately, I am out of healing abilities.
I'm gonna go up to Guardian. Can I examine him for damage, I guess? Figure out where is his arm broken? Do I need to heal his arm, etc.?
He has
just waits a moment, and he just looks at you like, sorry, it's tradition. You all think I keep dying when I do this. Can't disappoint. He just stands back up.
Good thing, it's good to see that you made it. I'm not sure this is a upgrade or not.
Yes, I am pretty sure I'm bone. I'm made of wood, and metal, and moss, and some fungus, and a couple of mushrooms that I think still hold out.
Aren't those fungus?
They're different. They have names.
Hopefully, I would say hopefully we can figure our way out of here. Does this align with, the real place at all? I don't know. This is not somewhere I've been before.
It's the opposite of where we were. But oddly enough, the liquid is still deadly.
I don't see the penguins anywhere.
Does this look familiar to anyone, or does anyone recognize this from history or anything they've read?
Well, look around. I'm gonna think very hard.
Hey, Laja. You still have that little soul in a jar, don't you?
I'll go digging through my backpack. You mean this?
Yeah. Hey, you. Taps it.
I think the Professor Stone was being held by Valin. And
Valin has it.
And you never actually searched Valin's body. So I think whatever happened to Valin and her pile of goods, it's probably still there.
I thought I had it. Well then, in which case I don't give it to you. I look in my bag, I'm like, I do not have it. So I think we're gonna have to figure it out ourselves. So I'm going to think if this place matches anything that I might have heard about in folklore or whatnot.
Anyone
Are
who's
there any
interested,
kinds of story?
anyone who's interested could give me an Arcana check.
Nailed it.
Viren,
You just
remember
think this is Penguin Land.
Viren, you remember that magic is cool? Nick, this looks like it could be an alternate plane of existence of some kind. You've heard stories about this. that to go from such a dramatically different area like Icewind Dale, obviously it's all about the cold and the snow, you're in a very different place and you walk through a portal, probably somewhere different.
So, have any of you ever used portals? We might have traveled somewhere unexpected. Maybe this is like a different world that also is next to our world, like a different plane. I don't know. Hopefully, one of you knows. Maybe.
Could I make a religion check to see if I've heard this or been heard stories of this?
Sure, absolutely. Maybe Rogar wasn't paying attention when they covered this part, or covered planes or planar theory in his paladin school, but yeah, don't really have any ideas. But as you walk to the edge, Rogar, you are kind of closest to the edge, you see small figures. They look to be probably, a meter in size that are underneath the lava. It looks like they're swimming around the lava.
I think Rogar will look around. I assume we don't see any other adventurers standing on piles of rocks nearby.
You don't.
He'll just shout out, "Hello!"
Erupting,
Sometimes it doesn't hurt to ask for help. Is anyone out there?
erupting from the lava and rising up in the air and kind of landing beside you is a creature. Now this thing came out of the lava. It's about a meter high. It looks like a little penguin, but he's wearing like a little leather vest. He's got some cute little brown pants on and a little brown hat. He's carrying a spear. And oddly enough, when he jumps out of the lava and he lands next to you, the lava just kind of washes right off of his coat and in his clothes and doesn't seem to bother him at all. He looks at you very angrily and he says, "You, what are you doing here? Who are you?"
Virian, are you seeing this shit?
Virion will walk over and bend on one knee and put his sword down and said, "I am so sorry to have done this to you. Please, how can we make up for what we've done?" And Virion has no idea what we have done. We've just jumped through this portal. I'm just assuming I need to submit to this beautiful creature.
The penguin turns to you, Vir, and he goes, Susua, the great poacher, you are here. You have arrived." And he has his spear up in your face.
Whoa, I'm no poacher. I'm a friend of the penguin, if anything. But if someone is poaching penguins, I would like to put a stop to it.
Virian, maybe you could summon your penguins and they could speak on our behalf.
It's trick. I need to hurt something to summon a penguin is my only issue, and I don't want to kill another penguin.
No, just hit me.
Varian's gonna walk over,
and just before he hits him, I'm gonna rage.
Okay.
I'm only gonna swing with
An unarmed strike.
Okay. I don't think I have that one on here. It's just a 1d4, I guess.
Damage is 1 plus whatever your strength modifier is.
But I don't roll anything for it, I guess.
Oh no, you still roll a hit. It'd just be no.
I'm allowing to hit me, so.
Okay. Then I guess it's just just a hit. And
just roll a 1d20 because if you roll a 1, that'll be something. Anything other than a 1 will be a hit.
Oh, please roll a 20. It'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I want to crit so bad here.
Oh, so
Wait, if he's allowing me to hit him, do I get advantage?
Oh my god.
sure, I'd say that. I'd be fine with that, GM.
You know, he recklessly attacked before he went through the portal. It didn't work.
Should I just keep swinging until something happens?
I think you hit him. The 15 is good enough. I just wanted to see
Okay.
if you rolled a critical failure, because that would be funny. But anything other than a 1 will say hit.
Okay. And then my penguins come out.
The penguins appear and they kind of tear at your branches and stuff, Guardian, and then they vanish. But when that happens, this little guy that's standing next to you, Rorgar, you see his eyes go really wide and he shakes, and as he shakes, his little wings kind of tremble as he's holding his spear, and he says, "The poacher, the great poacher, the poacher."
Calm down, friend. What do you mean, poacher? What has he done?
Varian, have you killed many penguins and captured their souls to use them as your enslaved servants for your attacks?
Not that I know of.
3 more little penguins come out of the lava, wearing a very similar getup to the first one, also with spears, and they land all around at you. And the first penguin starts communicating in like a series of squawks, and the other penguins also get even more enraged, and they have their spears very close to all of you.
Can I do speak with animals? I did 10 minutes. I'm just gonna sit down for however long this is. If it's 10 minutes, it's 10 minutes.
I'm still laughing at Penturian and Pengard pretty hard over here.
I went full in on the penguin puns. Just wait. But the first one you met, he looks and he says, You should be made to swim the lava now."
I'm a dear friend of the penguins. They're my spirit animal. They're my protectors. I have an affinity with penguins. I would never poach them or do anything to cause any waterfowl harm.
Never since the Great Purge, when we lost our sacred land, the land of Pengor, has such a foulness crossed us. You should be made to swim the lava now. However, I will take you to the king, and he can tell us what to do with you."
Is this king reasonable?
"You will not speak again, or I will take my beak and peck out your ugly eyeballs and feast upon them."
Well, Virian, I would hate to see your eyeballs be pecked out by these penguins, so I suggest we do what they say.
But the first penguin makes a motion to the platform off to the right, and a penguin jumps out of the lava and lands on the platform, and that penguin walks over to the orb in the center. He does some sort of motion, and an invisible bridge begins to form between the two pillars, and it looks sort of like a translucent blue field of energy. And one of the guards goes in front. You can see he can walk across it very easily. And then the first guard looks to you, Varian, and he says, You, the poacher, you go."
Virian won't say anything and just start walking, I guess?
Yeah, you can easily cross the bridge, crossing over the lava to the other side. And the other guards kind of prod all of you to do the same thing, to cross over to the floating thing over here, over the lava here.
Garn just looks to the penguins and, "Do you want me to carry you? You're all quite adorable."
And one of the penguins looks to you, Guardian, and he says, "You will be made to swim the lava. I will laugh as your screams."
As my screams?
as you burn and melt in the lava. I will laugh.
Ah, okay. I still want to carry you. Varian, you're just a monster.
Varian just look really sad over it, Guardian.
How
And-
could you?
The bridge continues on the other side, and the penguins continue to cross over to this larger bit of rock here on the far edge.
Oh, I didn't even see this part. Does any of the like iconography on the wall or here, does any of it look familiar?
No, and in fact, there are symbols. It's lots of gold, also some red blocks or red bricks that are inlaid around this thing, and it looks like there's a large door, and this structure might go further off into the cave that you're inside of, that you really can't perceive how high it goes because this lava is so bright. But this looks like some sort of grand entryway to something. And the imagery you see are of like gold eagles, like large birds. But that's about it. None of you have ever seen this before.
Would I be able to tell with my lovely dwarven knowledge whether these penguins would be capable of carving the stone in this fashion?
Normally, a penguin that you would have seen before, you would say not possible. However, these penguins seem to be a little out of the norm because they're carrying spears, they're wearing clothes, they just jumped out of lava. They don't really fit any kind of penguin you would have ever encountered before. So there's a lot of unusualness going on here.
Garen just
I
looks
need
up
an
and-
excuse to reference stone cutting.
Garen just looks around and he looks down to the nearest pen guard. He's like, beautiful beaksmanship.
Yes, we are quite proud of it, but you will not speak again. The first one that you met, he steps forward and he says, "Behold, behold, King Wen, the esteemed ruler of the great Pengorium." And the doors open and a penguin steps forward. So this penguin is much larger than the rest. He's taller than all of you. He's probably almost 3 meters tall. He's wearing a long red cape. He's got like a wreath of leaves on his head, and he's wearing a silver breastplate that has gold trim on it, and there's also a very predominant gold eagle on his breastplate as he kind of does the penguin shuffle, just like very slowly enters in. Everyone's very silent, waiting for him. Moments pass, maybe 30 seconds as he's, still silently, just waddles forth on his feet. And behind him is a little bit smaller penguin. This one's carrying a flag, and the flag is also like a bluish color that has a golden bird on it. And she's also wearing a red cape. And the two of them very slowly, as you all just wait. They're not really traveling very far, they just move very slowly as they waddle forward.
Adorable.
The first penguin says, my king, a great thing has happened to us. The enemy of all Pingos has arrived, the great poacher." And the king he turns and he says, "The great poacher, will he approach?"
Varian will very somberly walk over to the penguin and kind of sit cross-legged in front of him and kind of tear up a little bit and just say, "I swear I have never, ever hurt a penguin in my life. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know what you're doing.
King Gwyn
And I
says,
just want it to stop."
"You who have kidnapped many of my people, never to return." And then the penguin beside him, who looks very upset upon your approaching, Varian, cuts off the king, and she goes, "You've taken them. You've stolen my babies, and they never returned. Why? Why would you do such a thing?
Didn't do that.
King Wen says, "It is true. Many of my subjects have been taken from their homeland here. We were able to track the magic to you. Why would you do this to us?"
I didn't do anything. If it happened, I'm sorry, but I had no control over it. I just like penguins. They like me. And they come out when I hurt people, and they help me, and I feed them body parts. And I thought it was a good deal for everybody. Everyone's being so mean to me.
And the queen says, "When you are done with my babies, what do you do with them? They never return. Where do they go?"
I thought they just went back to wherever they came from in the first place.
That is not the case. They never return home. Where they go, we do not know.
Well, I'll help you find them if I can, but I don't know how to do that.
Indeed, it is possible that you are unaware of what you are doing. It is difficult to know. It would perhaps be fulfilling of justice to make you and your compatriots swim the lava. However, before that is my decree, I would call forth Brother Zen. Brother Zen is wise. He will listen to you and judge you. And whatever Brother Zen decides, we will allow.
Okay.
And from off the side waddles forth a little penguin. Now this penguin is wearing kind of simple clothing, brown robes and like a rope belt around his waist. And he's got a flask of something around his neck, and as he waddles forward, he says, "I am Brother Zen. You, who are the great enemy of my people, the great poacher. Tell me your story. Why should we spare you?"
Well, first of all, I'm not a poacher. I consider myself a good friend of the penguin people. So much so that should I, the rare occurrence that I have to hurt somebody or attack them, I am able to summon penguins to help me lay them to rest. And apparently, allegedly, I'm being accused of abducting these penguins, and they go somewhere where I couldn't even begin to imagine where. And I'm being judged and put on trial here for a crime I unknowingly, unwillingly, quite frankly, it's improbable of me to have committed. And I would like this case to be thrown out, if it pleases the court.
Brother Zen says, "And what of your compatriots? What would they say?"
He's an absolute monster. I didn't realize he was hurting penguins.
Guardian, shut up!
So you agree with his fate? He should swim the lava.
No,
Not exactly. I believe Guardian here was trying to make light of the situation. He does not have a good sense of humor all of the time, although he tries.
I don't know what the great King Wen knows about lands other than his own, but where we come from in the 10 towns, Virion has been essential in helping to save lives. We fought the mechanical dragon, and we were just on a mission to help defeat the Frost Maiden, who has held the 10 towns in her grip. He is a He is a brave soldier and he is a good person.
It must be a large kingdom for you to need 10 towns to hold all of its occupants.
I
Yes,
come from a
actually.
town where I'm from. The city is like much larger than these 10 towns combined, but that's not for us to discuss at this time. Virion does not hurt these penguins, at least not on purpose. They seem to do revel in causing damage to his enemies.
They're treated very well.
And the queen, crying, she says, "You mean when you've taken them from their home and they never come back?"
Queen, is it, and I mean this with respect, is it possible when they get a taste of life outside of this place, they decide not to come back? Is it possible that some penguins prefer the cold?
The cold? What do you mean the cold? Where are you taking them?
A nice tundra.
And all the penguins, they all gasp. All the guards, Brother Zen, the queen, they all step back and they gasp. "A tundra," says the king. "The pingos were not made to survive in cold weather. It is likely, if that is where they have taken, that they have all perished."
I do want to say something. They already look ethereal when they're summoned. Isn't that right, Virion?
Yeah, they're magical. They're, magic. And then Virion will try and light a fireball with his magic kit that he bought at a store, but only lighter fluid will spray out everywhere and get a little bit on the king's little webbed feet.
Perhaps, Virion, you're ripping the souls from their very physical beings.
Virion is just gonna look
What
back at
happened?
Guardian with absolute abject horror on his face.
What happens when these penguins disappear? Do they like just completely are gone? It will help me understand what happens.
Have you witnessed them just disappear? Or are penguins leaving here and you're just unaware?
And the first penguin that you met, he says, "Yes, my pen pal, whose name was Ben. I was having a conversation with him one day, and he just vanished in a puff of purple light and never returned."
So apparently you vaporized them before you steal their souls.
Now, what proof do you have that this is Virion doing it? Because his penguins may not be related to you. His penguins seem to enjoy the cold weather.
And Wynn says, "I used my divining magic. We were able to discern where the last penguins went to. And upon my magic, upon the completion of the spell, it revealed one face." He points one wing at you, Virion. "The face of the great poacher, that one."
Can I make an insight check on him to see if he's telling the truth?
Sure, go for it. I mean, he's a penguin.
I never learned to read penguins.
And Brother Zen says to you, Laja, "You, small hairy one, what do you think of your compatriot? Should he be made to swim the lava? Should he be made to suffer for all of his atrocities?"
From what I have seen, I don't believe him to have done anything with malice. I think if we are able to understand exactly what causes these penguins to appear and then disappear, we can figure out how to get them back, or at least how to prevent any more from disappearing. I think this is, if we don't figure out why this is happening to your people, it might happen with somebody else as well. And then we won't solve the problem.
Brother Zen says, "You seem to be very wise. Do you believe that your compatriot has acted out of malice or just ignorance?"
I have known Virion for quite some time, and I know that he truly, the penguins that appears, he loves and respects them. He does not know what happens when they appear. And I think if he knew, he would have done anything to stop this from happening, if he knew that it was causing them and their people, pain and anguish.
And Zen looks to you, Rogar, and he says, "And what of you?"
Oh, you weren't listening before, I guess. But my friend here is clearly on the side of good. In fact, in the way your king claims to be able to divine what's happening to your penguins, I can divine if someone is good or evil, and I do not get an evil sense from Virion. In fact, I get a good sense. And I've seen him act. I've seen him sacrifice for the good, for the greater good.
But do you believe, has he summoned my brothers and sisters to fight for him out of malice? Is there hatred in his heart?
I do not believe there is any malice in his heart, but I also am not convinced that you have proven that what he is doing is related to these missing penguins.
And one of the guards off to the right here, he says, "I saw him. He used his vile necromancy to attack that one." He points to the guardian. "And when he did that, my sister Finn, she disappeared. He did it. And the penguin that appeared looked just like her. And then it vanished."
No one disappeared when he did that. You
My
were with
sister
us.
did.
No, I saw the penguins that were with us. None of them disappeared. You are lying, friend.
There are many penguins living in the lava.
And you can see all of them while also keeping your attention on Virion there?
No, I was not one of your original guards. Not all of the Pingo look the same.
So then how did you see him summon a penguin?
Because I saw it. I was in the lava.
And we were up on the rock. There was no way you could have seen that.
I have very good eyes.
It is not even an issue of eyes. It is an issue of perspective, friend.
I think it's an issue of perception. He can clearly see through the lava.
And the rock?
Depends on where the lava is positioned in. If it's a lava up above, you can see.
No, is there lava above us?
No.
I'd like to call the penguin optician to the stand to give an account on how great the eyesight of this specific penguin is.
Then hit me again and summon another penguin.
Virion is going to walk over to Guardian very slowly while watching the other penguins.
I don't think this is a good idea, friend. Regardless of what happens, they're just going to get more angry.
Oh, I'm trying to think of if there's a way we can keep the...
Here's what we can do. Guard who says he saw it, go back in the lava.
And
Please indulge me.
the guard looks to the king, and the king nods, and he says, "I will allow it. Take a swim, my child."
You,
Rorgar is then going to move to right here and pull out a card from his deck of
Cards.
deck of cards, and he's going to show it only to Queen Gwen. And it is a 9 of hearts. And then he's going to shuffle the deck, put it away, and then shout for the guard to come back.
And after a moment, jumping out of the lava and flapping its wings.
What did I do? What did I just do?
And the guard says, "You just called for me to come back, and I did."
Before that,
Before that, you walked over. And the queen goes, "And you held up a card with those hearts on it."
you have just disproven. The whole point of this experiment, you've just ruined. But he clearly did not see it.
And Brother Zen, he shakes his little penguin head and he says, "Such deception, such trickery."
From your guard. He's clearly lying. How many little symbols were on the card? Guard.
And Zen says, "You do not know this because you are an outsider, but to insult the honor of a Pingo, especially one of the Pingard, is
You are
the highest
insulting me.
insult."
You're insulting me and Bahamut. How many symbols were on that card, Pengard?
And Zen says, "You sound as if you are sick. Do you need something?"
You clearly do not use logic.
No. Okay.
I will leave you alone. You clearly are set in your ways.
Brother Zen, come here, please.
Brother Zen
We're-
begins waddling.
We're going to have Varian demonstrate his magical abilities. You can see how it works. As far as we are aware, it is just magical penguins, not actually physically destroying their real bodies and capturing their souls and turning them into mindless drone puppets for attacks. Right, Varian? Who taught you this magic?
It's a tradition passed down from my family. We're all swarm keepers.
Feel free to hit me again. And, Brother Zen, feel free to observe.
"I am on my way. I am running fast."
Take your time. Laja, are you able to sense souls when he does this? Or are you able to do anything to sense if it was a living creature?
I'm not sure. I can definitely examine it, I guess.
We'll have to be quick. They disappear pretty quick.
I'm gonna be right there. I'm gonna watch, and I'm gonna see what I see.
It's not going to matter what you see, Laja. They don't care what we see. It's whatever they see with their crazy penguin eyes.
We just wait for Brother Zen. However many minutes it takes for him to get to us.
It's a matter of respect.
Do you want us to just get closer to you?
"No, I've covered the vast distance. I am almost to you."
Okay. If you need to take a moment and to catch your breath.
I'm dying.
And he says, "Yes, you may proceed."
Oh, okay, Varian. And Guardian will just lean down.
All right.
15 again. That hits Guardian.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so what happens is off to the side, one of the little pin guards, the flash of purple, he disappears. And he immediately reappears as a little penguin attacking you, Guardian, but he doesn't have his little hat or his little vest, his spear or his pants. He's just a totally naked little penguin, and he claws and bites away at you. I mean, 4, I think it's a 1d6 is, it's a lot for them. So he actually, he just lays into you, tearing apart, one of the pieces of bark on your armor, and then with another, puff of purple smoke, he disappears. And all of the penguins, they all gasp.
Viren's gonna drop to his knees and just start bawling.
Oh, you're a monster.
What have I done?
And the first one you met, the Penturion off in the corner, he says, "I never liked that one anyway, but still, it was a terrible thing you just did."
I say he's guilty.
I didn't mean to do it.
You said this was passed down by your family. Has this been happening with every family member?
Yeah, for thousands of years.
Have you been losing people for thousands of years?
And Wynn says, "Over the years, ever since the Great Purge, when we lost our land, the ancient kingdom of Pengor, yes, our losses have been tremendous."
Well, I mean, what you're experiencing now with the Great Poacher here.
Gwen says, "I've lost babies before, but not like this, so many, so often. Occasionally one penguin would go poof, or something would get them. Just the occasional penguin, it was gonna happen, but now, every week, every day, they disappear."
Your families are monsters.
Maybe they're set free to be, wild penguins as they were intended.
What?
Elijah, why don't you give me a religion check?
Okay, let's see how that goes.
Guardian's not helpful in this situation at all.
I think Guardian's very helpful.
I'm thinking.
So, Elijah, what it occurs to you is that you don't necessarily know that they're dead just because something is gone. It could be another plane of existence these things are going to. They very rarely die. And I think I've actually described one of them as actually dying. But, for the most part, they do their thing. They seem very happy about it and they disappear. So there's nothing that says that they're actually dying. You kind of realize that.
I mean, if I can say one thing, we did go from where we were to here, and we're still alive and well. We also went through a purple portal thing. They are purple. They might have just gone to a different place afterwards, just traveling different places. So conceivably, we might, if we knew more about what was going on, we might be able to figure out where they're going and then retrieve them or contact them.
The Queen said something interesting. The Great Purge, and you lost your original home. Where were you originally from?
And Wen says, "That is not something we speak of with outsiders."
Maybe they're being sent back there.
Zin looks at you, Viri, and he says, "I see perhaps that it is possible that you use this magic and you don't mean to. It may not be as malicious as it seems. I'm a monk of the Way of the Open Flipper, and I believe there's a balance in all things. It is possible that you're using this inherent magic, and you don't necessarily mean to. I will give you a chance to prove yourself, and if you fail, then I think the only recourse is for you and your compatriots here to all swim the lava and perish in terrible, terrible pain and death."
I would ask that you keep my friends out of the lava, as they had no knowledge of anything my family has done or any idea of why my penguins come and go as they do. So if we can come to terms with just me being the one to face the lava in that scenario, I think that's a fair judgment.
And the little
That
penguin,
is
the
that is
guard,
true.
the
You
guard,
did
he
not
says,
know.
"Oh no, you all gotta die."
Were we not helpful? We might be able to assist you further.
And the king shakes his head. He says, "Yep, I think you gotta die." And the queen says, "Yep, that's fair. You all die together."
We didn't realize he was a mass murdering penguin killer. That's kind of unfair on us.
Brother Zen, he kind of begins to waddle back to the other side of the room very slowly, and he says, "What we will do is we will engage in combat, and I will see how you use these penguins. If there is darkness in your heart, I will see it. And then I will know what you really are."
Can we at least have like a rest before we do this? We were just fighting some giant zombie thing with multiple limbs, and another one with a giant set of teeth like a shark. And
Zen says, No, just that one. The poacher.
well, I'd still like a rest. I'm still kind of tired, and it would be nice. You could be nice host and allow us to do this. Whatever. It's fine. I'll just have a snack.
The little Penturion says, "Yeah, you should rest before you burn."
Why do I get a feeling there's a lot of arson and unsolved cases around this vicinity? Because of
I mean, everything's made out of stone. I don't know how much arson you'll have.
that's why they're unsolved.
Ah, okay. I think I get it.
Brother Zen, he looks to you, Viri, and he says, "We may begin. Attack when you are ready."
I just want to make sure I'm supposed to be attacking Brother Zen here.
He's saying that he wants to fight you, and he wants to see how you're using the penguins, and from that he's going to be able to discern if you're actually accidentally doing it or if you're maliciously doing it. He's saying that he can tell.
Okay. Well, Viren is gonna reluctantly knock an arrow and try and fire it at the least painful part of Brother Zen.
So you shoot the arrow at Brother Zen. He kind of steps to the side very quickly, and one of his little wings, he swats up the arrow, spins around, and flings it back at you.
Shit.
And I imagine with a 6 that he misses.
Yes, that will miss. I I'll knock another arrow and fire it and see what happens.
A 20 hits.
All right. 10 piercing damage, and then the penguins come out for one more damage point.
One of the guards to the side disappears and suddenly reappears as a small penguin biting its end and kind of tearing at his brown cloak that he's wearing, and then it disappears.
I just want to ask, when they disappear, so they disappear with their little like helms and spears, when they reappear, are they dressed and holding the same stuff?
They're not. They're naked and they're smaller. So these penguins are about 1 meter tall and they kind of waddle around. But I imagine the penguins that you summon are small. I've always kind of imagined them as like, I don't know, like small, like almost like little puppies.
Yeah. Okay.
So they don't have their stuff and they're smaller, but you can tell the small resemblance, like that it's the same penguin who was standing there before.
Right. Okay. That's interesting.
Guardian, he is a practitioner of the way of the open flipper instead of the way of the open hand.
Okay.
Tenzin says, Interesting. He says, now it is my turn. And he begins to waddle towards you. Slowly.
Viren is going to take a look at his mobile sundial he keeps on his wrist and just kind of tap his foot, waiting for Brother Zen to get closer.
My attack will happen faster than you can see.
Oh my fucking god.
Were all the penguins this slow when they were moving us across the lava flow, or was it just this one?
So what they were doing is some of them were coming out of the lava and some of them were, some of them were waddling. They were all very slow. He raises his 2 flippers and attacks you very quickly. How's a 24 and a 15?
They'll both hit.
So with his flurry of flaps, he attacks you. That is 13 and 13, so 26 total damage. It's bludgeoning.
Ooh.
His little fins are a blur as he attacks you.
Attack.
Edson says, attack as if your life depended on it, because it does.
All right. Well, pull out the Moonblade from this close and take a swing.
17 hits.
All right. I'm assuming he's not undead.
No, he's not.
All right, so just 7 damage, and then another swing.
Okay, that hits.
For 9 damage, plus another penguin attack for
Ooh,
6
6.
damage.
Another penguin appears and bites at Zen, and then he waddles back a little. And he says, I believe that is enough. I can see now that this power you hold is tremendous.
I don't want to abduct penguins, it's just something that happens.
And Zen turns to him. He says, the esteemed ruler of the great Pengorium, King Wen, I cannot say for certain that this creature before you is guilty of malice. I believe he is using our people for something noble.
And Virion will put down his sword and waddle behind Brother Zen and give him a big hug and apologize for attacking him. I am so sorry I hit you and hurt you and you flapped at me and that sucked too.
And Wen says, it is possible that this magic you use, while vile to my people, is to be used for something greater. I do not know how to stop it, Or even if I should, perhaps it is the fate of the Pingo. Perhaps there will be a time where there will be no more waddle. The great lava lakes will be silent because the Pingo will be gone. Perhaps that is our fate.
We're just gonna tighten up his hug on Brothers In.
Wen says, I am a powerful magician. I'm sure you could tell. I will give you a favor if you ask. However, I would ask that you leave this realm and never return.
Deal.
That's a
Oh.
fair arrangement.
I thought you were talking to me. Sorry.
I think that's a fair deal.
He says, well, what is your favor?
Can we talk amongst ourselves and discuss it quickly?
Certainly.
Does anyone have any favors they need from penguins?
Well, we could definitely use help
Get
tracking
home.
Kislar.
Ah.
But
No.
but if we ask for help tracking him and we're still here, is this a something in addition to us getting back?
I don't know, but you're right.
No.
I don't trust these people to do more than what we literally ask, so...
How about we word it correctly? How about we ask the favor that they help us on this current expedition, which would entail tracking, allowing us to rest, preparing us for the fight, and dropping us off at Goodmead. All one favor, then.
Sounds reasonable.
I don't know if they will be open to multi-part things, but we can certainly try, and the backup would be we can rest, which is not a thing they have to do. Just give us time, and then drop us back off at Goodmead, and we can figure out the rest from there.
That'd be good, too.
Virian, would you like to ask?
Sure. Mr. King Wen, sir. We would like to be brought back to our plane of existence in Goodmead. I literally am drawing a blank on what the favor was. Beyond that.
Help tracking Kislar.
Oh, right. And we need to track, using your great magic and wisdom, an enemy known as Kislar. If you have any insight, or if there's any way we can find him, that would be of great help to us.
And Wen lifts up both of his wings and closes his eyes and spins around very quickly, and his red cape kind of flutters as he does that. And he says, I have seen the one that you are asking about. He makes towards an island with a castle that is shaped like a skull. There's a great eagle flying above it, and a field of frozen figures, almost like a museum. He heads for it very quickly. He seems interested in the new moon. That is a part of his plan. He seems to want to get there very quickly. It just occurred to me, and he's looking at you, Lasha, as he says this, that this one, who is an enemy of yours, there is a saying amongst the Pingo, with us being a very wise and knowledgeable species, but the saying goes that the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
True. However, I'm not sure that this enemy will necessarily stop at the 10 towns. He might end up being trouble for you all later on, and it might be worse than the problem you have now.
Yeah, don't care. You got your favor. I'm out. And he turns around and starts to waddle back through the doors.
Okay.
And as he is doing that, the first penguin, the Pengorium, he kind of plants his spear in the ground and he says, "Thus, the audience of King Win, the esteemed ruler of the Pengorium, the first of his name, may his reign be long and his beak ever sharp."
Yeah, whatever, losers, and Rorgar will jump in the portal.
Namaste. And Varian will Nesty plunge back into the portal again.
I'm gonna make Guardian go first, and then I'll go through the portal.
Guardian just watches you. Like, I have to
I'll
protect all
gently
of you.
push you in.
What are you doing? I have to make sure you go through.
We'll go together.
Alright. He's just gonna look back and like, sorry for the Dragonborn. He's old and cranky.
I take it you're all going. There's no one staying, correct?
No, we're all going.
Yeah, we're all going.
And you all appear back in Icewind Dale. It's all very cold again. And then the distance you can see looks like Goodmead.
Well, time to see if my town got destroyed.
That was a fast journey, but I'm not sure if it was better than the alternative.
I don't know how I feel about traveling with a mass murderer, with a family of genocide.
There's so much blood on my hands.
There is.
I'm afraid that coming here may have been a poor choice, because it sounds like Yithrin is approaching the Frost Maiden as we speak.
Well, we have to deal with his phylactery, which happens to be a pot.
Ah, yes, I had forgotten about that part.
It's okay.
We have
you're
to go to
old.
Goodmead either way.
Was there another reason?
I just kind of like that place.
Now, let's venture forth. I'm tired.
I have Suzanne in the sky. As soon as you appear, Rogar, you feel your connection to Suzanne again. She's very close to Goodmead. But as you
So-
all... Oh, go ahead.
Rorgar will reach out telepathically and ask Suzanne to come to us. I think we had Did we have Suzanne and Goodmead before?
I think when she was little.
Yeah, I think she was much smaller. Oh, actually, she stayed out of town with Issa. So maybe not actually in town.
Yeah, whatever. These people know us. Hopefully.
Suzanne, as she's approaching you, she says, Mother, there are a number of figures approaching you.
Ah, no rest for us.
I just put on my little speaker medallion.
And this is not these are not two ginormous guards. These are groups of guards. There's about 5 of them, so 10 total. But you see there's also 2 robed guards that are approaching, and they're both carrying, there's 2 of them. They both have like reddish robes, and they have daggers at their sides. But the one that's leading it is an elvish female, and she's wearing actually quite a bit of armor. She's carrying a shield, and she's got a long sword that is at her belt. She hasn't drawn it. But as she approaches you all, she says, "Hail, travelers, are you headed to Goodmead?"
Hail, I am the speaker for Goodmead.
She raises an eyebrow. "Indeed, then perhaps you're the person I should speak to."
Is that a pun? You know, speaker?
She
Speak
kind of
to.
she gives you a half smile and she says, "Perhaps the people of Goodmead have not answered the summons of Bryn Shander."
Oh. Who?
The sheriff sent out a notice. The night of the Frost Maiden approaches. The new law of Bryn Shander, being is that Bryn Shander was able to fight off the large mechanical dragon at great loss.
Yeah, we fought that thing.
The people of Bryn Shander have suffered enough. For this night of sacrifice, we have requested a tribute from each of the other towns. Goodmead has not provided its sacrifice, so I have come to collect.
Tell you what. Give me 8 hours. I'll talk with the people and see what we can do.
She thinks for a minute, and she looks to you, Varied, and she says, You are a prince of one of the southern tribes, aren't you?"
Yeah, the ones who murder all the penguins, apparently.
Penguins, right. I am wondering why you are here. Are you also somehow connected to Goodmead?
I mean, nothing's in writing, but I believe I'm on the town council.
No, you're not.
Oh, okay. I guess I just know this guy.
We're associates.
No, I know Laja. The others are distant associates. Especially the foul killer.
Indeed. I will give you 8 hours to go to Goodmead and remind them of the request from Speaker Max Lenar that it is not optional. And if in 8 hours I do not have the sacrifice from Goodmead, I will have to go there and volunteer someone.
I don't
It
know.
is a request, though.
They-
Correct?
She looks at you, Laja, and she says, "It is not optional."
Has it always been this way in the 10 towns that one town can dictate law to the others?
She shrugs and she says, "Times change."
But
Right.
laws do not always change with time. Has this always been the way? I'm just asking.
She says, "Bryn Shander is the shield of the 8 towns of Icewind Dale. If Bryn Shander falls, the rest of the towns will soon follow. We have suffered great casualties at the attack from the dragon. We do not have the strength to..."
No, I'm sorry. I did not ask for your reasoning. I'm just asking, is this the way it has always been? I'm honestly curious. We have not been here. Well, I have not been here for that long. Is that the way it has been traditionally? I thought I seem to remember the towns being able to choose how they did their sacrifice themselves.
She looks at you and smiles. She says, "Are you volunteering to be the sacrifice of Goodmead then?"
I'm so sick and tired of this today. I just want a straight answer. Is this the way it has traditionally been in these 10 towns?
She says, "Dark times require..."
Oh, just give me the answer, please. What has it always been traditionally?
Traditionally, it was up to each town to
Thank you,
sacrifice
okay.
however they would. However, at this time, Bryn Shander cannot make that sacrifice, and as payment for the defense from Bryn Shander, It is up to the other towns to provide.
And I'm sure all these other towns had a voice when this was decided. Thank you. In 8 hours, we will have something for you, I'm sure.
And she says, if you find it too unacceptable, as I said, you may volunteer as a sacrifice for good meat if you'd like.
I'm just now... I'm wondering, why are we doing what we're doing to try to save all the people of this land? It is
Good.
frustrating.
Good guard of Bremhander. Slow your roll. You'll get your answer in 8 hours.
She says, remember the sacrifice is not for me, it's for the Frost Maiden. If anyone deserves your ire, it is she, not the people of Bryn Shander.
I know the people of Bryn Shander. I was there helping fight the dragon. Where were you?
Just, I'm originally from Targos. I was protecting the refugees.
Good job. I mean it. Splendid work. You feel free to wait outside the town.
She says, I will wait because I choose to. I hope in 8 hours when I come into the town to choose a sacrifice that you all are still here.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of abandoning the town I'm meant to watch.
Who is this current speaker of Bryn Shander, by the way?
Speaker Maxel Dinar.
I thought it was Daniel.
No. Maxel Dinar was the guy that, you remember they did the trial by combat?
I know, Guardian's just, he's purposely bad with names.
Yeah, but didn't...
Oh, I'm sorry, he
Guardian won that
lost. He
trial
lost. Gosh, I just forgot her name. Not Speaker Maxel Dinar.
The sheriff that got his head ripped off in front of his kid.
Yes, that guy. Sorry, give me a
Sheriff
moment.
Southwell. Speaker Shane.
Shane, yes, Speaker Shane.
This order comes directly from Speaker Shane?
The order comes from Sheriff Shandar.
Shandar.
He's the...
Well, we'll be in touch. We need to get over to the town. We're wasting our 8 hours, right, everybody?
Yep, let's go.
All right.
Sorry,
Come
I
on,
got
our big fearsome dragon. Let's go.
I got my names mixed up. Yeah, he did lose, but he remember Shandar got elected as sheriff, or got basically made a sheriff to replace Southwell. Yeah.
So then it's off to Goodmead, and we're leaving this rude lady behind us.
So as you make your way into Goodmead, you notice that there's actually quite a bit of activity in the town. People appear to be boarding up their windows. It's similar to the preparations you were close to Goodmead before, when there's the last night of the Frost Maiden. It looks to be like they're doing similar precautions. They're gathering supplies and things like that.
Walking around, trying to avoid the people, actually, not to get in their way. And make my way to the mead hall.
And
I think as we approach the town, Rorgar will ride on top of Suzanne just to kind of at least ease the tension that comes with the dragon coming into town. Just a little.
a lot of people see you, and it does start to cause a commotion upon seeing Suzanne, and people race even faster into their homes. And emerging from one of the houses is Fief Morin, the guide who led you all to the Verbeegs before. And she has her bow drawn and an arrow knocked, and she kind of runs out of one of the houses, and she starts to aim at Suzanne, and she notices you on the back rogar of Suzanne, and she says, "What? I was not expecting you, friend. Are you in distress?"
Don't worry, this is a good dragon. Friend dragon.
He has to use it because he's getting older. It's his mobility dragon.
And
Isn't
she,
that right, Grandpa?
Yes, it helps my aching bones to ride this dragon.
she lowers her bow. So, an emotional support dragon.
Yes.
I see. Well, not a bad pet to have these times. What brings you to Goodmead?
Well, last I know, I'm still the speaker, so hi.
And she says, didn't you decree that several of us were the speaker?
Now I made you guys council. You'd be in charge while I was away and handle the big decisions while I was around. I'm just a name and a face for you guys. If you guys are faced with a decision you can't make, you leave it to me then. That's what was decided.
She says,
Let's say a figurehead who can relay on your behalf to other towns, so not all of the council has to leave. Anyway, that is a different matter. We probably should speak to the council if we can gather everybody.
just, of course, we should all meet in the meat hall.
We're going to go there right now anyways. How's the cauldron been?
She's actually quite vital to our survival. We have not been able to either trap food or even barter for it.
And how's the Furbeak doing in the cave?
They've mostly been keeping to themselves.
That's good. Have you guys been friendly, though?
Well, we've been mostly keeping to good mead, replenishing our stores of the mead that we've created from the bees. We have not troubled the Furbeaks, and the Furbeak seems to have been fine leaving us alone.
And you have been sharing some food with them, like I requested?
She kind of sighs.
Yeah.
That has been difficult because, as I said, all we have is the soup from the cauldron that you left us. No other food has been available.
Hey, did orcs ever show up, by the way?
Orcs? No,
Yeah,
goodness.
we found a bunch of orcs before last
No, I,
moon thingy.
I believe we already learned that that
No,
asshole guy had killed them.
Right, I know asshole guy said he goes, I wanted to make sure his story was true.
We haven't seen any orcs.
Okay, well, I had sent some friendly orcs down here to keep the town safe during the last witch's tit moon.
She says there were
Okay.
a number of tribesmen that claimed to be from the tribe of the Elk off of the glacier that did arrive yesterday.
Yes, they were sent here by me.
They also seemed half-starved, but fortunately the cauldron has produced food for all of us.
Good. Okay, those are the things I wanted to know about. Other than that, anything else to report on?
And she says, well, apart from Bryn Shander demanding someone from Goodmead to be their sacrifice for the Night of the Frost Maiden, they've told us if we don't send someone that they're going to come into town and select them.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Unfortunately, we don't have much of a militia. I'm pretty good with a bow. I don't think there's any way that I could fight off anyone from Bryn Shander. They defeated a dragon, by the way.
We defeated the dragon.
Yeah, we were in town and they assisted, yet they seem to be taking all of the credit.
No, Elijah, you forgot. Assisted, and he does it in quotations. That's important.
I mean, I will give the credit to the men manning the ballista. That was certainly helpful, but I'm not sure that all of the that the sheriff necessarily had helped. The
No.
current sheriff.
Maxil Delnar was nowhere to be seen. Even Speaker Shane was closer to the action.
Well, I've been told that this order came from the speaker directly.
It did not. It came from the sheriff. We just cleared that matter up with the what was the guard's name? Or
Captain Jalisa.
Jalisa. Yes, we We just cleared that up. It was not from Speaker Shane.
Anyways, meat hall. That's good, everyone.
And have them all bring the biggest containers they can for food. You'll find out in a moment why.
And you're all led to the Good Meat Hall. And it's much as before, it's the place where pretty much everyone is congregated. There are lots of folks still, even though it's just a few nights away from the Night of the Frostmaiden, that are drowning their troubles here. You see at the bar Zach, who was also a member of the council. He's pouring some mead. It appears as though the production of the honey mead that they are famous for here at Good Mead has not been slowed down by anything. You hear the bees in the background humming. Apparently, many of them survived the Night of the Frostmaiden. That actually is a great place to stop, Guardian, if you need to go. We can pick that up. Okay. But I will say that as you walk in, all of you, you see behind the bar is the cauldron. And Zach is pouring into bowls food and serving it out to everyone. So everyone is eating from the cauldron.
Everyone's possibly tainted by a lich. Hooray. Oh my god, what if he's turned everyone who's eaten the soup into a phylactery or Harkon? Like he's Voldemort.
Let's not. Don't give ideas.
Did we ever
so many people?
Sad.
Did we ever get to eat out of it? I don't remember if we ever used it ourselves.
We did?
I believe we have, yes.
Okay.
That's when the
it's sad enough that we're taking away their food source, so let's not make it any worse.
I think if it tainted us and made any of us evil, I would have seen it, right?
Actually, I don't know why your good or evil didn't go off, because it's literally a lich's phylactery.
It's special. It's made of special anti-divine sense metal.
It uses plutonium metal.
Yeah, unobtainium.
Plutonium metal.
The Pact Angel didn't say that it was this specific cauldron of plenty. She just said it was a cauldron of plenty. This happens to be the only one that you found, but coincidence? I don't know.
Yeah.
We can make assumptions here. There's not too many clues to go on. We're not going to travel around the 10 towns waiting for the next moon.
You mean the 8 towns?
Yeah, we'll rebuild the other two.
Formerly 10 towns.